Hey there, I'm Dave Karger. Welcome back to the Entertainment Weekly studio at the Toronto International Film Festival 2022. Very happy to be here with the brain trust behind the movie The Son, actor Hugh Jackman, director and co-screenwriter Florian Zeller, and co-screenwriter Christopher Hampton. So great to see all three of you for such a beautiful and powerful film. Hugh, my understanding is that, like me and the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, you were a huge fan of The Father, which of course won an Oscar for the screenplay written by these two. How did you discover The Father at first, and how did you track down Florian to talk to him about being in this movie?
Yeah, huge fan of The Father, but also of Florian's writing before. There was another play that I read 5 or 6 years ago, something, and it didn't work out timing-wise, so I was already aware of Florian's writing. And The Father, which these two worked on, was, I just thought, extraordinary. I came across it on the Academy as a member, and it was one of the first films. It was early on there, so I got to see it that way. Mm-hmm. And soon after that, my agent rang me and said, you know, there's plans for The Son to be made, and I knew of the play, but I hadn't read it, so I read it immediately. And that day, I wrote to my agent and said, I have to contact Florian. I felt a compulsion. Something, you know, when you read something as an actor, but as a father, as a son, I just felt, oh my God, I have to do this. I have to do it. I have no idea what's happening. I'd heard that Florian was talking with other actors.
Oh, how dare you!
So I wrote as politely as I could, if you're dancing with another actor, please, I will not cut in. But if that's not true, I would love to play this part and I'd love to talk to you. And I heard back hours later from Florian saying, no, I'm not talking with anyone. Let's chat.
Because directors are known to be control freaks. Are you okay with actors barging their way into your casting process like this?
I think you can say that I'm a really control freak. In general, that's the truth. But also I love accidents, and I love to keep an open heart for everything you do not know yet. And when I received that letter, that email, I was really moved, I have to say, for what it takes to do that as an actor, which is humility, honesty, the capacity to express a desire, and so I was very, very happy to meet with him and to talk about it. And I was not planning to make any decision on the day. It was just a first conversation, and after 8 minutes, I stopped the conversation, and I felt so strongly that he would be, I mean, so extraordinary in this part that I offered him the part right away. Whoa. And because I felt something, you know, that I could not ignore, you know. It was the truth that I felt about him as a man and also as an actor. The fact that he was completely available for the journey that I was expecting, which was not to try to pretend something or to fake something or to perform or to prove to anyone anything, but just to use this opportunity to explore with humility, with honesty, something that he has deep down. And like a real connection to the story. So I felt strongly that we could do something very special, and it was the best decision ever, in my opinion, because I have been very, very impressed by his work throughout the shooting, and the way he took it, you know, trying to give everything with no fear, and with a lot of courage and honesty again.
Yeah. Christopher, the power and the beauty of The Father really lay in the fact that the movie helped a lot of us understand what it would be like to experience dementia. You all put us as writers inside the head of this man played by Anthony Hopkins. I think a similar thing is going on with the character that Zen plays in The Son, the teenage son who is experiencing depression. I think the movie tries as amazingly as possible to put us inside the head of someone who's experiencing that, because depression is such a mystery to people.
The two movies are very different, but they have a real similarity, which is that at the center of them is somebody who is unreachable, and the films are both about the effect of that on the family around, and how people honestly try to deal with it. Sometimes they do the right thing, sometimes they do the wrong thing, but in the middle of it all is an intractable problem that you can't, for which there is no easy answer, or no answer at all, really. And that's very dramatically interesting, I think.
Hugh, there's a centerpiece scene in the film with you and Laura Dern, who plays your ex-wife. You share this teenage son together, and you're trying to figure out how to deal with his issues. You meet in a restaurant for martinis. It's a beautiful scene. It's a very powerful scene. It goes to many different places. I can imagine that was one that you had circled on your calendar, like you knew when that was going to be. And it's such a great scene. How did you guys approach it on the day? What was it like to do?
I love that you know that. It was exactly one of those scenes when you read and go, oh my gosh, this is a perfectly, beautifully written scene. That actually there was another scene written where, as a flashback, where you see our two characters meeting for the first time. Oh. And actually, you decided, because of the power of that scene, how well it's written and how much is under the surface, that original scene was not necessary anymore. We approached it, we didn't rehearse. Florian didn't want to rehearse anything. It's about a 6-page scene, which means about a 6-minute scene. It's very rare to have such a good, juicy scene to jump into. And like all the scenes, Florian encouraged us to turn up, to not have preconceived idea of where we're going to start or where we're going to finish, to trust in each other, to trust in him, and just to learn as we went along. And so when you're working with someone like Laura Dern, who is one of the greatest living actors I think we have, for me the job was to turn up, to trust in my scene partner, who is extraordinary, and in Florian, and to see where it went. And it was a day I'll never forget. It was one of the highlights. I felt an incredible high at the end of that day, and gratitude, because it's a rare thing to get a beautiful scene like that. And I wish I could go back and do it again.
Yeah, it's so fun to watch. Florian, one of the things thematically that I noticed and really appreciated in this film is I feel like it's exploring the fact that we all have aspects of ourselves that shock us and that we're almost ashamed of. And I think the teenage boy character goes through that, but I think a lot of the characters go through that. Is that something that you wanted to explore?
Yes, I mean, what was important for me is for us, the audience, not to be able to understand exactly what was concealed, what was hidden, and what this boy was going through. Because I think this is what is real, I mean, about mental illness, is that there is no simple answers. There is no simple why. There is a mystery about it. And you have characters surrounding him who are trying their best to help him, to do everything they can to help him, but it's not enough somehow. They don't have the keys to open the door. And to me, that was the purpose of telling that story, because there is so much ignorance and so much shame and so much guilt about mental illness that I really wanted to face that question without shying away, and to open a conversation, because I think that this is what we need. Because I know, and I'm very aware, that there are a lot of people around us that are struggling with pain, and they are alone with pain. And I think that movies can, be like mirrors in which we can watch ourselves, question ourselves, and trying to understand a bit who we are and how to care for people around us.
So, Christopher, we've seen the father. We're now seeing the son. The third play in the trilogy is The Mother. Is there a screenplay?
There is not a screenplay, and it's Florian's call. So, and he's going to let us know what he wants to do in the future. But it's it's been a fantastic pleasure working on both these films, because they both of them propose things that are original and unexpected. And for a doctor to say towards the end of this film to parents who are in the grip of a terrible problem, love is not enough, is a very unexpected thing to say, and it's really opens a whole field of thought in about mental illness, which is, as Florian says, is so widespread now, and it's so difficult to know what to do for the best. But one of the things that's clear is that love is not enough.
There are moments of levity we should tell people in this film, although it's a very serious film. Your character does exhibit his very famous hip sway dance. I was very happy to see that. I'm sure that was contractual. You demanded that be added to the movie.
Every movie. They got cut from all the Wolverine movies. I don't know why. I did say to my daughter that I have this scene, and the only clue I have is there's a famous hip sway. And so I said, I've been workshopping a few ideas. What do you think? And I started to do it, and she goes, Dad, is the idea that you're like doing like nerdy dad dancing? I said, yeah. She goes, you got it. Just roll the camera. I said, oh, fine. But I did show Florian a few things.
Variations.
Variations.
Oh my, I love the idea of you as the embarrassing dad.
Yeah. I mean,
all dads
everyone should have a 17-year-old daughter. There is nothing more humbling.
All right. I congratulate you all on this movie. It's very special. Well done. The movie is The
Thank
Sun.
you.
It comes out in November. Florian, Christopher, Hugh,
Thanks,
great
guys.
to see you all.
Thank you.
Thanks a
Thank you
lot.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.